you get tight, and those bonds just get stronger and stronger the more you struggle together, and the harder the hardship. And I don't know if it gets any harder than being a quadriplegic. So, we instantly bond.
Paralyzed Veterans of America is a nonprofit, and it gets no federal funding.
And we provide every service free of charge to every veteran and caregiver that we support.
Paralyzed Veteran and PVA Executive Director Sherman Gillums Jr.
Every life, every success, every recovery, it's tied to the initial investment you've had in us.
To learn more, visit pva.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Secrets of Success. I'm your host, Bill Horan, and today we're speaking with Kimberly White, author of The Shift. Kimberly, one of the points that stuck out to me that you mentioned, businesses often bring in a consultant to see what's wrong. It was almost kind of funny when I read this, because we pay them a lot of money for them to tell us what's wrong with our business. And you pointed out something which was just by its very nature so true. Consultants often miss this because they're the experts, so they have to come in and kind of push us around, as we're doing to the people below us, saying, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you got to fire 3 people, you have to make $8,000 more a month to, and I guess that's the problem. Is that one of the reasons we often miss this point?
I think so, but I think also, too, there's a great deal of comfort in being focused on ourselves and not worrying about what's going on with other people. Because if the people around me are just objects and only my goals and opinions matter, then I get to feel superior, and I get to feel like I'm right, and I get to feel like I'm better than people.
Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's a great feeling.
It is.
I like being superior. In my book, I talk sort of about how these ideas helped me at home as well with my personal relationships. And it was very painful because I was clinging to some of the conflict I had at home, because in that conflict, I could see myself as the hero and the martyr who was doing everything right. And then I don't have to change myself. I don't have to fix myself. I don't have to apologize, because I'm the hero. I'm the queen. I'm the movie star. And that's a kind of an addicting feeling, being the movie star. It's just that when we're doing that, when I'm being the movie star, I am missing all of the important things about the people around me. And I can do a tremendous amount of damage to other people because I'm not caring about them and I'm not interested in them.
And I guess in every organization, this is what we want to be: the vice principal, the principal, the CEO, the president, the manager, whatever title puts us on the top of the pile, and everybody admires us. And to be honest, you're an author. I mean, that's a very impressive title of an impressive business book. If I met you at a party, I would want to know what principles, tell me something about your book. Right. Because to put a book together and to know that much information, you got to be pretty smart. But the consultants kind of turn out to be the bad people, because I guess that's the problem. Is we want too much power, and then we try to use it on people, and we don't see them as the people they really are, and it makes the job a lot easier. In your book, you mentioned, I think, even there was a power outage, and the CEO of the company was doing the most menial tasks, helping people, pushing equipment, helping them get water out and the damaged
pushing
goods.
Beds and all of that. Yeah, that was one of my favorite stories. When you get an entire organization united in the shift in this way, then they don't have that. When I started this book, oh my goodness, Bill, I was so full of myself, because you're right, I'm an author. People are paying me money to write a book. And at the time, I had just moved from Manhattan, so I felt like I was very wonderful. I was so cool because I lived in Manhattan.
You're a cool author, even better. Yeah, you live in Manhattan.
Oh, yeah. I thought, I'm going to write this great book and I'm going to be so famous. Because it was all about me. It was all about me at the start. But when I got in and started working with this company and seeing how the executives thought about their jobs, who make a lot more money than I ever will and have a lot more responsibility, and yet they never hesitated to just drop everything. Are they having a big meeting? That doesn't matter. Not if people are suffering. not if sick old people have no power. Well, then what does my meeting matter? They were always so quick to just jump in and help. And they were so united as a team. The executive committee in this company shared a bonus. They didn't have individual bonuses. They just all shared it. If things were going well, they were all in it together. If things were going poorly, they were all in it together. And let me tell you, Bill, the employees at this company were so loyal. They loved working there, and they loved their bosses. And they would tell me over and over again, they don't act like corporate. You know, in so many companies, corporate is where the arrogant, rude people come and show up and tell you what you're doing wrong and make you feel stupid. And at this company, yeah. And that's Kimberly, so frustrating. Yeah.
I just want to mention, when a company can keep employees, that's a tremendous savings right there, if for no other reason. But the amount of money it takes to bring in a good employee, train them, make sure they're good, and then if they're not, you have to start the whole process over. And you just lost 6 months, poor production, complaining customers or people.
Exactly.
I'd like our audience to know, in case they didn't pick it up early in the show, the book is simply The Shift, SHIFT, How Seeing People as People Changes Everything. It's by our guest, Kimberly White, WHITE, and Kimberly's going to tell us where we can get it and the website we should look for.
You can get it at any major booksellers. I recommend Amazon and 800 CEO Read. My website is Kimberly White Books. That's books plural, KimberlyWhiteBooks.com.
And if someone didn't get that, I will ask you that again right before the end of the show so they have a little time to get a pencil and paper handy. Kimberly, while you were talking, I was thinking, too, this would be great if you're the small competitor, that you don't have the advantages of the big guys. You don't have the money. You don't have the resources. You're not going to get them from either corporate or the world you're in, or maybe you're just starting a business. What a great way to start it, by just taking a little while and reading The Shift and saying, wait, if I can do this in my business, I'm going to have happy employees. I'm going to have productive employees. I'm going to have employees who stick with me so I won't have to keep retraining them. And that's going to lead to happy patients or clients or students or customers or whatever kind of audience we're working with and for. And it's really pretty inexpensive the way I'm reading it. It's just a simple philosophy. Treat people as people, not as objects. Am I saying it correctly?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's so useful. I talk in my book about a pair of nurses that I met one time who told me that one of them actually worked in another facility, but where he got paid more, but still kept a part-time position at this facility because he enjoyed it so much. And they told me that in their facility, nobody ever became resentful when anyone else was promoted. They just thought that was the right person. They didn't try to undercut each other. There was no backbiting. I mean, just think about how much energy is wasted in that kind of politicking in most organizations. And if you can create an organization, especially if you're starting small and you can really forge the kind of culture that you want, the amount of energy that you save is really tremendous. I mean, nothing is perfect. Some people just can't do this. Some people are too self-focused and they don't want to open up. And even when you have people, like in this company, overwhelmingly, I found people happy with their jobs. It doesn't mean that they don't have problems. It doesn't mean that they don't ever disagree. It doesn't mean that the industry doesn't change and require them to catch up. And, it's not a guarantee. It's just that while you're going through all the normal ups and downs of business and just dealing with all the things that are going to come up when you're trying to earn money, you are with a team of people who are supporting each other and who trust each other and who are happy to be there. And so whatever you do face, you face not alone, not from your ivory tower looking down on your little minions. No, but you face it with a team of people that you trust, that you can rely on, and you have the creativity and the energy that comes from people who aren't trying to defend themselves.
And I would imagine, too, even if whatever business is applying this principle, the shift, even if the employees aren't the highest paid in the industry and they know maybe they're 10% below level, so long as they're making a decent income, if they're enjoying themselves for 40 hours a week when they go to work. They don't have the stress. They don't come home and they're all tight because they hate their boss, or so-and-so said this to me, or I know he or she is trying to go one up on me or something. What a great life. I mean, that's what we all want, a happy day at work that we come through. We feel happy. And, of course, again, if we're acting that way ourselves and the company is doing this, it's going to be productive. It probably has good financial picture going ahead. And our customers, patients, students are going to be responding to us. So now, do you get any pushback when you come in and try to establish this? Are there businesses that are afraid of it, or do they say it can't be that easy?
Yes. No, the Arbinger Institute does this far more than I do, and they're a great resource. They have a website too, arbinger.com, for anyone who's interested. But there's always a lot of pushback because it sounds to many leaders like it's too soft, like it's not really going to have an impact on the bottom line. But in my book, I talk about a particular facility that was purchased by this company. In the facility, this was a nursing home that was in terrible, terrible shape. They had failed their health inspection. They were losing money. Their employees were quitting right and left. The administrator, hadn't been present. There were people working 2 and 3 jobs, and it was just an absolute disaster. And so many people want to come into a business like that. There are companies whose entire way of making money is to go into a failing nursing home, whip it into shape, and then sell it once they've fixed it up. And they usually do that by going in and firing all the leaders, all the department heads, bring their own people in, start from scratch, and just sort of snap their fingers and get everything to change. But this company didn't feel like that was an honorable approach, because the people who are in the failing facility are people. They're not just bad nurse objects, who've just come from the factory and have failed to do a good job. They're human beings. And if they're not doing a good job, they have a reason for that. Their philosophy was, if we can give them a different kind of leader, a manager who would see them for who they are, that's the only way you can tell how they'll really be as employees. And they would find that if they send a leader in who was devoted to getting to know the people, asking them questions, learning about their lives, getting their opinion on things. In fact, their rule was when a new leader came in, he wasn't allowed to make any changes unless it was an immediate safety issue. But other than that, they weren't allowed to make changes for 30 days.
Kimberly,
all they could do
I just have to cut you short because we're running out of time. So I want our audience to know, if you're really looking to make some changes in your business, get hold of The Shift by our guest, Kimberly White. Take a little time to read a few of the stories. If you do, you'll be amazed at the type of money you can save and make for your business by making very minor changes and have a much happier day at work for everybody. Kimberly, we want to thank you for being with us, and we'd like to remind our listeners that you've been listening to The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Bill Horan, asking you to please join us again next week at this same time when we will continue our journey to success.